delight your soul with an extraordinary experience of beauty, color, and energy. Classical Chinese dance brought to life on stage. Breathtaking backdrops, thunderous drums, and unforgettable music make this show not to miss. Part of a 20-country world tour.
Welcome back. We're talking to Chapman Kelly about Dallas, Fort Worth, and the arts here in Dallas, Fort Worth, and how artists are being recognized. Tell us what Dallas is doing for the artists here.
Well, unfortunately, very little. These artists who we were just talking about, these former students and such, and other people like Bob Wade and James Searles, who have left the area, and or they went to art school or such and never came back. There is no longer a professional system of recognition for artists. This was lamented in a recent study by the Rand Corporation, which said that it used to take many, many professionals' opinions to develop a professional reputation for each as they came along. It took a reasonable amount of time so everyone could have some confidence that those people really were worth collecting publicly and privately. Yeah. But now the art world is no longer about that. It's about art investment and art speculation, which has led to art manipulation of the art institutions, with huge scandals all over the country about what is happening.
Now, is this going on worldwide also?
Yes, it's a worldwide problem because the prices have been pushed up through auctions, largely, and advertising. In other words, when only one person decides what's worth keeping, you're taking a big chance.
And so and Claude Picasso are going to make a difference.
Well, I think so, because it's already, this suit is already about to finish in the appellate court, and it's going to completely change the position of the artists and their rights and the protection of our works, even, you know. And so I think that that this is something that's long overdue, and it's going to be dealt with.
Now, you have a website, which is chapmankelly.com.
Right.
And you've told me that this is people are looking at your website from all over the world. So
Absolutely.
There's quite a bit going on here. There's an artist that you've done a lot of wonderful things for the Dallas-Fort Worth art world. One is promoting other artists.
Right.
And one of the artists that I'm aware of that you have helped recently is Willie Young. Tell us about Willie.
Well, Willie was a student of mine when I took over the high school scholarship class at the Dallas Museum in 1959, 50 years ago. He and Noel Mahaffey were both in that class. And Willie found his thing very early in life, that he was a draftsman rather than a painter. And he has pursued it. And then these young students came and worked in my studio, where we had major artists like Elaine de Kooning and Hobson Pittman coming in, and some of the top local people there teaching. And Willie and several others would work in the frame shop, and they would learn how to make a living involved with to support their painting or sculpture.
Now he has an exhibit at the African American Art Museum, and how long is that going to be?
The exhibit is going to be up through the 6th of December. We're going to have on December the 5th, the Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock, we're going to have an afternoon with Willie Young and friends. We're going to have a gathering of other people in the arts to talk about Willie's work. Willie was named, they had Willie Wayne Young Day in Farmers Branch, with he was presented with a nice plaque by the mayor and the city council. But this was the first time that he was really shown here.
And has it been shown in other parts of the country?
Oh, he was very successful in New York and at Rico Maresca Gallery. He had a one-man show there, a one-man show at Moore in Philadelphia. He was in a very important show, A World of Their Own, at the Newark Museum. He was in A Labor of Love Marcia Tucker picked his work for the new Museum of Contemporary Art in New York. He was in a show called Obsessed at her Carl Hammer Gallery in Dallas, at one called Draw, at Mason Muir in Atlanta. And he has had all of that recognition elsewhere, but not here, even where he went to school. They should be very proud of him,
Absolutely.
like Bob Gordy.
Yeah.
Bob Gordy, we were the first ones to show his work. This is one of his pieces right behind us. Mm-hmm. And we were the first to show his work outside of New Orleans. And he went on to New York and London, and a good bit of success. But now there's a room dedicated to Robert Gordy's work in the New Orleans Museum.
Oh my goodness.
Where all of these Texas artists who studied here or from Texas are not shown. Yeah. There's no follow-up that recognize their professional stature. And without the recognition of their professional stature, the community doesn't engage them in things like
benefits.
Yeah. And
or that there are opportunities for them to even do some teaching. There's something I want you to share with us also. There are other things that you have done for Dallas, Fort Worth, other than the arts. And in the 60s, Lee Park tell us about that. That's a great story that you mentioned to me about what happened with the hippies.
Well, the thing that happened here, which no one knows yet, though the book is in progress.
I hope we can get that.
And that the 60s were the golden years here. And the success that I'd had professionally went into a plane load of people went up for my New York show. Stanley Marcus had to make certain he was on it, because if it had come down, Neiman's probably would have gone out of business. The next year, Brana furnished us with a 707 just to take my group up for the New York show. And we spent a week or two going to the galleries and museums there and in Philadelphia and Marion, Pennsylvania and all. So we were really seriously developing an audience as well as artists. But then, because of this professional level of recognition, winning shows in local, state, regional, and national shows, then I got the public recognition that allowed me to do things like after Kent State, to have the Free University out of Lee Park. When other cities were in flames, we had peace here because we had something positive going on.
And all the kids out there listening to artists and other people that could teach them something.
Well, not only that, but it was so successful that the next year at a party at the McDermott, Stanley Marcus said, "This is wonderful. We should have more of these." So we had Stanley Marcus, Judge Sarah Hughes, Ray Nasher, Buzz Crutcher, the mayor out there visiting with the kids.
And we were saving this younger, wild generation.
They weren't so wild. We need more like that now.
So we need to have a book about the arts and what happened in the Dallas Metroplex 50s, 60s, 70s, right?
Well, Sam Blaine, the important art historian of that era, Texas art historian, is working on this. And where he's put out a call for people with photos or documentation.
That's something. We need to be sure and tap into your website. That'll be the way to connect. Is
right.
that correct? Mm-hmm. Good. Well, that's just wonderful. We're just so happy. We're going to be right back and hear some more about Dallas, Fort Worth, the art world, and Chapman Kelly.